Channel 5 News, to me, the best YouTube channel in the world right now. Andrew Callaghan is a genius. I love this guy. Maybe the best journalist in the world. And we're going to start with a Bernie Sanders rally. I'm predicting what's going to happen is we're going to see a lot of lunatics, but in its core, the message is good. Bernie is literally the greatest politician the US has right now. And it's going to be probably a lot of weird. But let's go. He's a great journalist. Let's take a look. Bernie Sanders rally. First of all, pretty sick that Bernie is still active like this at 83 years old. I'm 34 and I'm already... Guy is 83, Alter, and is still active like this. It's unbelievable.
See before me, in my future, is a black precipice when America's torch of liberty is finally snuffed out once and for all, and we fully portray the ethos this nation was founded upon.
I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports.
He's not Hitler. He's not a Nazi. He's arguably worse.
Yo, what's up, guys? We're here live right now at the...
And yeah, you obviously want TommyKay opinions. Look, I'm a big Bernie fan. I'm a big anti-Trumper. But as Andrew also said in his legendary short I saw 3 days ago that blew my mind, is that this kind of rhetoric is destroying the left from the inside. This is helping the right. This is helping the oligarchs. If you talk like this, he's worse than Hitler, you just destroy any
breaking news.
Educational, academical, profounded, sourceful, meaningful discussion about what is wrong about Trump. This shit doesn't help, man. And I'm going to show this again. A bit polemic maybe, but I saw this on my toilet 3 days ago, and it's fucking unbelievable. This is for you, Ken Noodle. I love you. This is for you, and this blew my mind. And I'm very happy Andrew is now taking a stance. He is not being neutral anymore. He's now standing against Trump, and this video is just mind-blowing. So watch this first, and then we'll check out his Bernie Sanders clip.
Breaking news. There's something happening now that is similar to what happened in the late 1960s as far as the government operating extrajudicially to suppress dissenting opinions, particularly those who are critical of our government and the act.
It's important to explain that to Ken Noodle. Extrajudicially. A lot of people that get deported right now, such as scientists, such as a child with cancer that was deported last week, they have certain rights, even under ICE, but ICE doesn't tell them that. They just deport them, and a lot of these people don't even know that they have rights to actually move against this. So it's extrajudicially.
Actions of corporate billionaires and war profiteers. The media conglomerates who serve as their lapdogs have worked overtime since the Occupy movement of 2012 to deploy potent culture war distractions and keep the voting public evenly divided on almost meaningless issues, while they tighten their grip on wealth and information. Somehow, someway, they've tricked the right into worshiping the wealthy while scapegoating the vulnerable, and tricked the left into destroying itself through infighting and a system of social exile that rules through fear and cancellation.
Which we just saw right here. Sorry, I lost him. Where is he? I lost him. I lost the clip. Wait, no, I'm such a terrible streamer. Where's the He's down here, but I can't get him up anymore. No, the clip is down here. Shit! Terrible news station, TommyKay. I can't... Can I... Größe ändern. Nee. I can't get it back. Fuck, I'm terrible. I can't get it back. Wow, I fucked it up. I fucked it. I fucked it. They're already on my PC. Alright, let me help you. Shut up, you fuck. Let me do that again. 1 sec, I'm a little bit... 1 sec. Sorry. Where did this shot go? 3 weeks ago. Here? Nah. I'm super lost. Give me a sec. Jesus. I'm an old man. Press the Windows key and arrow up. It's fine.
Breaking news. There's something... particularly those who are critical of our government and the actions of corporate billionaires and war profiteers. The media conglomerates who serve as their lapdogs have worked overtime since the Occupy movement of 2012 to deploy potent culture war distractions and keep the voting public evenly divided on almost meaningless issues, while they tighten their grip on wealth and information. Somehow, someway, they've tricked the right into worshiping the wealthy while scapegoating the vulnerable, and tricked the left into destroying itself through infighting and a system of social exile that rules through fear and cancellation. Simultaneously, social media platforms have bent to the will of the machine. With no incentive but capital, they've perfected their algorithms to radicalize the gullible, pleasing shareholders as they monetize human outrage through clicks and ad revenue. As informational literacy dwindles and unaffordability continues to rise, the distraction of poverty allows our government to do what they're doing right now, which is the mass federal detention of activists, students, union leaders, and progressives who disagree with the agenda of this current government.
Right now,
I even saw an article that scientists are leaving the USA. Certain scientists that are not, they're not in fear of being deported, but they're actually moving to Europe, Australia, and stuff like that, and actually continue their studies and scientific actions over there. So I don't know how deep that's gonna go and how deep that's gonna be, but it's a little brain drain effect there.
The ethos this nation was founded upon.
I signed an executive order banning men from playing in...
I really hope that in 20 years we look back at this time and we thank Donald Trump and his idiotic decisions that massively build up Europe. Europe is finding its balls. Europe comes together. Europe builds an army. Europe has more scientists, and this all really helped Europe.
Women's sports.
Then he's a big genius,
not
huh?
Hitler. He's not a Nazi. He's arguably
Reverse
worse.
paperclip.
Yo, what's up, guys? We're here live right now at the Fighting Oligarchy Tour in Bakersfield, California.
I'm so impressed that at 8, look, you can think about him whatever you want, okay, Ken Noodle, but at 83 being this active is unbelievable, man. Holy shit. But the problem is he's too old. He can't run for years. So who really is gonna be the figurehead of fighting oligarchy? Seems to be AOC. Seems to be AOC will be the great figure of fighting this entire oligarchy shit, man.
California. I don't know if y'all can see this right here, but this is an official press pass. Capital P, full court press,
Shit,
member of the
man,
Fourth Estate, true American journalist. I haven't got one of these.
She's bad in the brain, though. I don't know if she is. If you compare her to the current administration of Trump, I will think she's doing kind of fine.
Bad boys since AlienCon in 2019.
People, aliens are real.
Feels pretty good. Not sure what advantage I really have, but I guess I get to film inside, which is tight. I'm normally an outside, in the field kind of fella. Shout out to Kern County's premier pediatric services. I'm not a kid and I'm not sick, but if I was, you know where the fuck I'd be at.
I'm here to listen to the message because this is America and we can go listen to what we want. I live here in Kern County.
And look, I love America. I kind of like America. It's a great nation that achieved insane things. But you Americans always talking, acting like you're the only ones for freedom. This is America. We have free speech. No one else has that. What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
So someone coming to Kern County, it's a public event. I want to come check it out.
How do you think Trump's been doing so far?
I'm not a fan of
You literally can support Palestine on Twitter and ICE is gonna knock at your door. You're fucking
just
gone, bro.
throwing tariffs around. You know, you have to be real careful with that.
You think Bernie's an American patriot?
I think he is. They believe in this country. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but I think he has the right to say it.
Bernie would win in 2016, Bernie would win in 2020, Bernie would win in 24, and Bernie would win in 28.
Do you think he would have beat Trump?
In my heart. I don't know if we're there yet.
I think statistically it was shown he has better odds than Hillary, right? But Hillary took the spot.
It's really hard. It's the same.
And that's what Andrew said earlier, right? It doesn't matter if the Democrats or Republicans win. They're both in the same boat, man. They want to distract
thing with
you.
Kamala. I feel like to vote for somebody that people see as radical as Bernie Sanders is, and I don't know if he would have beat him.
He calls himself a communist.
Well, I don't know about that.
I am a socialist.
Socialist, yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of concerns me too, because when it...
Why? This is such a big issue for me. Why is the word socialism making people think that Stalin is going to put you in the gulag and the red flag is shining? Socialism itself as a word obviously has a bad rep, especially starting with the Red Scare in the 50s, which makes sense. I get that. You had to fight the fucking Eastern Bloc, man. But socialism in its core, right, saying, hey, do you think unions are nice? Healthcare, minimum wage, social security? Oh, you're a communist piece of shit. It's insane, man. It's the Red Scare persisting till today. The manipulation and propaganda of the Red Scare.
When it comes to socialism, you're just one step away from communism.
Insanity. And that, to me, this is my opinion. I know you had a canoodle. This is insanity. If you look at a Bernie, if you listen to him, right, the guy doesn't want to put you in a gulag and fucking destroy the capital of the wealthy. He wants your child to go to university for free. He wants minimum wage. He doesn't want the oligarchs like Elon to be that fucking rich. He's literally for you. He's trying to help you. But you just think socialism is, oh my God, it's the end of the world, man.
Anyways.
I'm a capitalist. I'm a conservative. I'm not a socialist. I don't believe in socialism. Socialism has never worked in this world.
Well, communism has never worked in this world.
I think social democracy has worked.
Yeah, socialism, as for example, the example of Scandinavian countries, the most successful countries in the world per capita, man.
But full-blown authoritarian socialism has always failed.
Right, but we are a constitutional republic, so that cuts against who we are as a nation, who our founding fathers put out. We are a constitutional republic.
But do you think our founding fathers could have possibly imagined the level of, like, tech billionaires that would hoard resources and how little people would be getting paid to work for them?
I don't think our founding fathers could have imagined stoplights on corners. I don't think they could imagine the 405, come on.
Yeah.
Who can imagine that? But why can't we solve that?
Yeah.
Why can't we solve
Chat is
the
going
traffic
ham on
congestion?
politics streams,
Why?
man.
Because we aren't
What's your
talking.
opinion? Put it in the chat.
We're talking at each other instead of with each other.
Yeah.
Has a poor
But he's right
person
about
ever
that. At
gave
least
you a
he's
job?
talking.
I've never
Like a
gotten a
normal
job
person.
from a poor person. I've worked for large companies. I've worked for myself.
You know, when you get into ideologies, you're going to get this lock thing that we have. I think let's listen to solutions and put some solutions together for the American people.
What do you think's the biggest problem facing America right now?
A certain group of people have decided to play politics with our lives, to find the wedge issues that divide us instead of finding all the numerous ways to unite us.
What do you think are some of those wedge issues they've used to divide the common public?
You know, outside we're seeing, oh, abortion is murder and this and that. Another one has to do with race, DEI programs.
Mexicans, Asians, whites. I'm a minority and as a white guy in the Central Valley. And I don't focus on that because, again, you know what? It doesn't matter.
My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense.
These are all values that we used to have as Americans that are being
Every time I watch the stream, Ken Noodle is going crazy in the chat. I love you, Ken
twisted
Noodle.
and used against us.
That's obscene, and it
Lauren?
distorts our
Nice,
ability
nice.
to
I wanna play
engage in,
Skyrim, but I'm doing
in
shitty
civics, you know, in
politics.
true democracy.
You know, the Democratic Party is just a corporatist party where the Republican Party is an oligarch party. No one is for the working class man or woman. Workers getting a share of the profits that they create. It used to be a thing that we had in America. Now it's a person's wealthy because they are smarter than or they work harder. And we know that the lowest paid people are the more often than not are the hardest working people.
Do you think there should be like this class of billionaires that hoard so much wealth when the minimum wage is so low in some states?
I don't want to punish them for being successful. A good example of what I was just saying is
That's what I disagree with. Everyone should be allowed to be successful, but first of all, you got to talk about the right taxation. It is clear and known that the top 1%, they are very, very good at denying taxes. We look at the CD from Switzerland, the Panama Papers. They have a lot of tricks with daughter firms, etc., etc. So that's a very important thing. And obviously, you have to also, and here we go, man, I'm such a communist. The wealth they create is also built on the back of what's the word I'm looking for? Not abuse, but using low minimum wage worker. Why is Apple the biggest company in the world? Chinese workers, man, right? Look at Amazon. They don't look at all the reports we have. Exploitation. We have heard what happens at Amazon, right? So this notion of thinking billionaires deserve all of this, they are such great people, is as far. I will go as far as this. It's you are already so deeply into the propaganda that you celebrate billionaires that literally have not a single cell of interest for you.
Elon Musk,
represent a
he
world
doesn't
that is
sleep,
utterly against
you know, 12 hours a day and then just mosey on into an office and expect something. The dude's in his factory sleeping on the floor saying, I'm going to get the American dream. You know, it's like these people are complaining about 40 hours a week. Oh, I don't want to work that. Well, when my son got his job 40 hours a week, I said, I remember my first part-time job too.
Yeah.
Because I had to work 60, 65 to buy my house and live the American dream.
Yeah.
People don't want to do that anymore. Some of the reasons
it's almost unaffordable, even if you do the 40 hours now. The minimum wage and the way the prices are rising, it's getting harder and harder and harder to even afford this stuff. This guy is completely fucking gone. And I don't think he's an evil person or he's an asshole. It's just he is the product of this propaganda the whole world has been open to for so many decades now. Thank you, Jaden.
Is the same reason they're poor life decisions.
Thousands of people fill the street today for the latest Fighting the Oligarchy tour. Senator Bernie Sanders making stops around the country, talking with crowds about, quote, how to take on.
My grandpa and grandma died at 83 and they just died. They were old and fragile. This guy is still running around.
The oligarchs and corporate interests.
And it's propelling progressive lawmakers to the front of the line, become the face of what amounts to Democratic Party resistance.
You're on the wrong side, folks. You're on the losing team.
Repent.
What amounts to Democratic Party resistance.
You're on the wrong side, folks.
Repent, gossipers, sports nut haters, idol worshippers, weed smoker, immodesty, liars, sex freaks, porn watchers. I mean, the people you vote for, the conservatives like Trump, are provably by court the ones that are the sexual deviants. LGBTQ, thief? I wonder what thief is. Gambler, lukewarm Christian. Just insanity, man. But as you see, this is a very great picture. The most insane people are always the loudest, man. They're always the loudest, dude.
An oligarch's just kind of like a small group of rich people like controlling the government, and that's pretty much what's happening with us now. The president was elected. You have a bunch of billionaires right behind him.
Ken Noodle, I love you, bro. I love that you stand here and face the tide,
right in the open. You can see it dramatically.
People will look back on this age and go.
By the way, I want to quickly say this is how I imagine my viewers. Lego agent, this is how I see you. The face, the talk. No hate, I love you. I have nothing against you. I just want to say this is how I see my viewers right here.
How did this happen? And the truth is, a lot of us let this happen because we believed.
Literally, you guys are now racist. Just because he's ginger, he's me. We don't have the same eye color. I'm obviously Giga Chat. I have insane muscles. I have a great voice. You guys are being very racist right now. And I don't know if I appreciate it. Is Asmongold offline or what's going on here?
That fascism and authoritarian ideology could never take root in America because we fought Nazis and the Italians in some far-off war in days long by.
And I will be damned if we're going to dishonor those men and women who fought and died for democracy by allowing Trump to become a dictator.
I think overall, he has the right idea on every.
It's just sad he's 83. Imagine Bernie was 60, man. What a power he could be right now.
He's been doing. I know there's a bit of controversy with like the whole Israel has the right to defend himself.
Israel has a right to defend itself.
But I feel like he kind of understands the premise of like Palestinians are being.
Well, I think that he made those statements like in the immediate aftermath of October 7th. But if you look at him now, I think he's quite critical of Israel's response.
Correct, and I love that. So that's why I've been also still supporting him.
While Israel had a right to defend itself against the horrific.
It's just to me, and I'm not afraid to. I always feel like I'm afraid to say my opinion because I like you just followers or something. To me, Bernie seems like by far the most modest, logically thinking figurehead of like the big famous politicians in America, by far.
The Hamas terrorist attack
Always seems to get the point across well, who has the right point, who changes opinions based on stuff.
Of October 7th,
who says
it
things that
did
make
not have the right to wage an all-out war against the entire Palestinian people.
But I know there's some people, especially my family.
And if he gets too powerful, he's just gonna have a car crash, right?
Where they still just only view that one sentence he said and be like, oh well, Bernie, I give up on him. Which I don't think you should really, fully look at entirely as his whole picture because he's been fighting since he's been young and he truly knows what's right. So I'm happy he's doing the tour.
I mean, he's been fighting for the same thing since freaking whenever, right? He was born a long time ago. He's an older guy, an older white dude, and he actually sticks to what he believes, and that's not very common in politics. So,
and to clarify, this is not exactly a Bernie Sanders rally. It's the Fighting Oligarchy tour.
Correct.
So he's not planning to run for president during the midterm.
Yeah, exactly. Not at all.
Just out here to be with some like-minded folks who are ready to fight back against the oligarchy.
You like Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, I'm a leftist.
His first call was a chariot. Thank you, Musad. Thank you.
Like politically, I'm queer, so I would prefer to exist still.
What threat do you feel like the Trump administration poses to the queer community?
Outlying HRT, like I feel like they say it's just about like the kid.
Outlying, what is that? Outlining HRT? I don't know what that means. Sorry, again.
Like the Trump administration poses to the.
Thank you, Sneagle, Meagle Beagle. Thank you. Human outlawing hormone replacement. Okay.
Queer community.
Outlying HRT, like I feel like they say it's just about like the kids on HRT and like stuff like that. But
what is the exact lore? Can you still do it when you're 18 or 21, or how does that work? Holy Roman Empire? I don't know much about that, but I agree with conservatives on that. There should be no hormone for therapy for under 18-year-olds.
I really do think they're going to make a push for just banning it outright, even for adults. It's just going to get messy.
What do you think about Bernie Sanders?
That's where I'm very.
I mean, what's not to think about him? He's on the right side of history, right?
Yeah. What do you think's going on right now in the country?
It's going to shit. Are you kidding me right now?
What are the top 3 terrible things they're doing right now?
Taking people off the street who are here legally, throwing them in the gulag over there in another country, particularly the one fella I forget his name.
Kilmar Obrega Garcia, Maryland father who was mistakenly deported by the Trump administration.
That's outrageous.
This is something I believe in as a parent. As long as I pay for this kid and as long as my kid is legally under my supervision until 18 years old in Germany, I decide. I fucking decide. I'm the one who pays for this kid. I'm the one who's responsible for this kid. And no one fucking tells me what they should do with my kid, as long as in legal terms. End of story.
Due process is critical for all of us. The other, I'd say,
I would fully agree. My child thinking he's trans and he wants to be a girl. That's it. I want to be a good dad. But I decide if you are allowed to get hormones when you're 13 years old. With all the respect, I love the trans people. No fucking issue with you. But it's my fucking kid. And when you're 13, you shouldn't make life-altering decisions like that. They're such impactful decisions that need to be really thought through and you have to be very careful of this. So, yeah.
Say it's the tariffs. What a joke. Like, people are like, oh, Trump's a genius. This is all planned. No, it's not. He thinks he knows more than every economist in the world.
But it's obviously a very complex topic how you handle that stuff. I don't know. Because when you're 18, it's too late for hormones. I'm not that educated about this, but yeah.
He doesn't. Treasury bonds,
No idea.
they're critical to the success and well-being of our country. Those have gone haywire. When that happened, and that's why he responded. He realized, oh, my people are telling me that I'm killing our economy.
The president here announced.
But to finish this transgender talk shit, I truly believe that the whole transgender thing in America and the rest of the world is one of the major points of switching away focus. The whole issue of transgenderism and Leah Thomas swimming, it's something else we talk about. 100%, these are topics that should be discussed in society. But it's a topic, and it's an issue that is so unbelievably small compared to real issues such as unaffordability, wealth gaps, stuff like that, minimum wage, the climate, and it's just it's a culture distraction to have a culture war and not a class war. And that's why I think people that go too deeply into this whole transgender shit on both sides are victims of this illusion.
A 90-day pause.
If you think your biggest issue is some fucking blue-haired girl on Instagram, then you haven't been paying attention.
On tariffs, though it's not clear specifically which countries this pause is going to apply to.
So that's a big one. Free speech in general, you know.
Agitators will be imprisoned or permanently sent back to the country from which they came. American students will be permanently expelled or, depending on the crime, arrested.
Students on campuses. He's cracking down on legal firms who have done work that he doesn't like. What country are we in? Is this Russia? Yeah. It's crazy.
So if Bernie said something that resonated with you, would you be open to change?
Channel 5 once did an interview at a conservative rally asking them how much population in America is trans, and they said 5 to 15%.
In your mind about certain things?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm old, but not that old.
We have a corrupt campaign finance system which allows billionaires through their super PACs to spend as much money as they want to elect and defeat candidates who stand up for the working class.
Just like trickle-down economics doesn't work, it doesn't work for politics either. A lot of money is being spent at the top.
Harris campaign expenditure, Federal Election Commission, 15 million event production, 4 million influencer mobilization. Dude, I wish they gave me money. National Action Network 5.
The ticket going down, and then we roll the dice to see if wins. You know, I like to say when the working class is struggling, folks tend towards either left populism or right populism. And I think that the establishment of the Democratic Party didn't realize how much the working class was struggling. They decided to play their games, and you know, they fucked around, and then they found out.
What can you tell us, for those who don't know, about how he was disenfranchised during the 2016 primaries?
I think one of the main factors is that, you know, he was running as an independent.
Can you talk a little bit about what happened in 2016?
I mean, I was a super volunteer back then. So I was a baby organizer. The establishment of the Democratic Party was really, really scared of his economic populist message.
It's sad. It's being rigged against Crazy Bernie. Crazy Bernie's going to go crazy.
The Democratic Party is very hard against people that aren't going to be a part of the Democratic Party because they have a lot of funders that are for them.
Secretary Clinton was busy giving speeches to Goldman Sachs for $225,000 a speech. So the proper response, in my view, is we should break them up. And that's what my legislation does.
If Bernie's running as an independent and kind of going against the Democratic Party to some extent, they're going to like look past him and kind of do as much power to get rid of him. Because at the end of the day, the Democratic Party is also not as progressive as you may think they are. I feel like Democrat and the Republican Party are pretty much identical, especially nowadays where they're passing most of the bills that the Republican Party are even putting forth.
The corporate Democrats and the political right knows that left populists, that we're the enemy because we actually are offering the thing that the country wants.
Yo, what's up, people? With the fight against the oligarchy raging on, it's vital to make sure the manipulative mainstream media isn't getting into your head and making you a foot soldier in their never-ending war for complete and utter cultural and political domination. As y'all know, different outlets push different agendas, shaping the story to fit their own narratives, which is why as well.
Sorry, what the fuck did I just click?
take a look at how the different headlines can come out based on bias. And said later, we just the news, the story not being judged, not be deeper, throwing massive channel 5% off their unlimited access Vantage plan, which comes out to less than $5 a month. Just scan the QR code or click the link below to sign up. Supporting Ground News helps support us, which means we can keep making videos like this.
So you had a complete maniac who's killing the world economy with tariffs and wants to make Greenland. Before that, you had a man that smells girls' hair and can't walk up the stairs. And now we're discussing if Bernie has enough governing experience. That's what we're doing.
New coverage that isn't watered down or dictated by corporate interests. So check it out, stay informed, and don't let the media tell you what to think. All right, back to the streets.
Oligarchy, yes or no? No, it's a hard no. A hard pass for me. How come? Well, I just think we should live in a democracy where everyone has an equal voice. And when somebody's worth billions of dollars, it doesn't matter how your democracy is set up, they're going to have an undue influence. And obviously, we need to undo Citizens United. We need to tighten campaign finance laws.
It's not like he has billionaire backers that are like in the tech industry. Yeah. He's for the people. Even the ads you see, he's like, hey, I'm here. I need some help. Please donate.
I am once again asking for your financial support.
How dare he? How dare he?
Citizens United for somebody unfamiliar?
It was allowed essentially unlimited money from corporations going into PACs and other political entities. You as an individual can only donate $3,500 to me for the primary, $3,500 for the general election. But large corporations could donate millions and millions of dollars to PACs that are quote unquote independent, but that shamelessly promote certain candidates and disparage others.
If you would like to become the most powerful person in Washington like Mr. Musk, just contribute $270 million to Trump's campaign.
But we also just need to make sure there are no billionaires. I would love to be worth $80 million. That sounds great. But the discrepancy needs to be throttled. We can't have people that are worth more money than Jesus Christ could have made if he was making $1 million a year since he was born. So I think the marginal tax rate, once you get into the billions, should be 100%. That money should just 100% go back to the public to do public good.
I disagree with that. We had a part on the stream where we looked at different tax systems. There was a YouTube video which was very intelligent, and there was this beautiful tax system that talked about, and that seems very fair, not that communist to me, where it's like this exponentially growing one, right? You can still be very successful, you still have the American dream, but at some point, if you make 20 billion, man, you're reaching taxes of like 80%, which just seems fucking... But again, it will never fucking work. It will never work. They will always progressive taxes, but they will always find loopholes. My coffee. One sec.
Oligarchs are people who have a serious addiction problem.
I would say too, just that power. There's something about certain people. Well, they say what? Power corrupts absolute. Power corrupts absolutely. And I've never been in that position to feel what that is, but it's a thing. It's been around for thousands of years,
but the
right?
question is, why do people want power?
I think for me, it's a mental flaw in their brains.
Do you think that the desire to dominate others does come from the fear of death?
It could be that they're trying to pass it down to other generations, possibly, like Trump's family.
Which is the fear of legacy dying. It all comes down to the idea of impermanence.
Yeah, it could very well be. I mean, Trump for sure. I mean, he'll be remembered. There's no doubt he'll be remembered in history. He thinks he's going to be remembered as one of the best. No, he's going to be remembered as the most evil, and the most horrible, the most terrible.
How do you feel about the people out there who are always hating on Bakersfield?
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. But also, I get it. I've lived here a lot of my life, but there's good things here. The
left has always received more support from the 1%. Yeah, as we saw in the inauguration of Trump, right, buddy? That's just
good. We've got lots of good people besides those Trumpies that are outside right now going crazy. I'm surprised there's not more. I'm a little embarrassed for them, honestly.
As I mentioned, we're still in Bakersfield, California. Don't be surprised, we were just inside, now we're outside. And I want to establish a new Channel 5 rule. No hating on Bakersfield. If you hate on Bakersfield, you will be blocked. You will be sent to some kind of re-education camp. And we're going to use that Patreon subscriber money to create a private police force to find you and take you there personally.
Well,
we're here in Bakersfield.
Have always supported leftists until Trump. They have supported the Democratic Party, which is also part of the problem. The Democratic Party doesn't mean the left that we mean with helping the worker class. And now they looked for the next idiot to do their bidding, which was Trump. A billionaire doesn't care. Elon is the best example. Elon doesn't give a shit if he's a lefty or righty. He was a lefty for a long time, right? And now he's very righty. They just look for the right guy to do their agenda.
Field, Centennial Plaza, Chevron, fuck BP, fuck Exxon. I don't want to say anything bad about the dinosaur gas station because I like the merchandise and I want to get a sponsorship from them in time so I can take pictures with the dinosaur wherever I want and maybe get a dinosaur of my own. We got some Trump supporters across the street. They got a banner that says abortion kills children. They're having
Elon is legit anti-trans rogue. Not true. We have seen videos on this years ago. He was actually very lefty and actually a little bit pro-LGBTQ, and then it changed. Not true.
A vigil for all of the fetuses destroyed by the satanic cabal of George Soros-funded Planned Parenthood abortionists.
Like I said, he's not Hitler, but like Hitler, he also uses economic populism in order to tie it to the Jews. Like with George Soros, when they claim that George Soros is secretly funding everything. Like Hitler once claimed.
You know George Soros owns Hot Ones now?
Really?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Shut up! What?
He's just another rich person who's like vaguely left-leaning. I don't hate him, but I don't.
Lisa. I think if I never met Lisa, and you guys will call me a cuck, but I tell you always the truth. I think Lisa helped me in life. Lisa has some wrong points, but what Lisa did in my life, before I met Lisa, I was a fucking crazy conservative. I voted AFD and shit. And what Lisa did is she balanced my fucking life out with other opinions from another perspective. What you see with young conservatives is they're often lonely men. Look at Asmongold and his viewers. Nothing against Asmongold, but Asmongold had one relationship with that weird girl with the fake tits, and it didn't go well, and then something terrible happened to him with the death of his mom. Fucking sucks for him, but now he's sitting alone in that room, and he has 50,000 viewers, which are these lonely men that feel very, very, very lost and always look for a scapegoat, man. They're the women, it's women. It's these goddamn refugees. Trump is gonna fix us. Make America great again. I love Elon. And they fall into this trap, man. They fall into this trap. And yeah, if you talk about Lisa, I think Lisa has been a great influence on me. I don't always fully agree with her, and you see it live on stream how I fight her on certain things. But I think it's a very healthy thing in life to be balanced by someone else.
Support him. It's sort of like a very neutral relationship. Like, yes, thank you for supporting the party.
I agree with you,
the Democrats and such. You could be doing more.
Yeah. Who do you think is the true enemy?
Oligarchs like Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
That's why I always talk about a thing. I always talk about how if I ever will write a book, it would be called The Loser Principle. And I don't blame anyone. I don't want to shit on everyone. But I have been a loser in my life, a massive loser for 27 years. And I will never admit it. I will never admit I'm a loser. But I had no real relationship going on. I had no money. My academics wasn't going well. It didn't go really well for me. And what happened to me, I was like a conservative AFD liker, man. I was just a fucking idiot. I would blame others for my bullshit, man. And yeah, we would have to, we see it nowadays, all these young guys, man, just fucking lost, becoming incels, being insane in Twitch chats and Discord channels, man, right? Because they have nothing to outbalance them.
And every hedge fund manager.
I voted AFD in 2017, then I got a girlfriend, now I vote Die Linke.
Every Wall Street stock analyst who only took into account the total.
Thanks for the content over the years.
Thank you, Rotating Potato. Thank you.
Total financial.
And here we go. Let me trigger Can't Duel completely. Oh man, I think now this is the year where I fully come out as a left-wing hardcore. I always said I'm centrist, but not anymore. Now I'm full left-wing, and I'm gonna say it. The true enemy of young lost men isn't the left, isn't a transgender person, isn't Leah Thomas, isn't a refugee, a Syrian, or a Jew. The true enemy of modern men and what makes their life miserable is capitalism. Capitalism has told young men that from the 50s and movies, you can be a man, good looking, you can buy a house, you can take care of your wife, she can stay at home and take care of the kids, you can achieve all your dreams. But suddenly all these young men wake up and realize, I cannot afford a house, even though I work my ass off, man. What the fuck is going on? I can't afford anything. I work so hard here, dude. Oh, maybe Elon can fix it, man.
Value that their actions would bring them. and not the wider effect that it would have on Americans.
Stellaris is in 90 minutes. Full politics stop at 90 minutes. We're sponsored, actually.
Best Mexican spot in Bakersfield.
Tacos de Huicho. It's off of Union Avenue. It's like this small little spot. It's not the best area of town, but it's fine. You might see a prostitute or two walk by while you're eating your tacos, but it's good. They're really good. And the salsa bar is good too. You can get as much salsa and toppings as you want.
That's what I like about Lisa. Lisa is German, but she has a Latina booty. Very lucky. Thank you, Krins TV. Thank you.
I was at a 7-Eleven on the east side one time.
Yeah.
I saw a dude in a Raiders jersey rap battling a ghost.
No way.
You know what I mean?
That checks out.
Yeah,
like, that makes sense. I'm not surprised.
While I was midway through filming
I'm a booty guy. I'm a booty guy. I'm a booty guy. Tits are like, they come and go, man. You know, tits or whatever. But man, when you are laying on a bed and a big booty is fucking reverse cowgirl riding you, that is heaven on earth, my friends. That's what it's all about.
The event, I found something I'd been desperately searching for quite some time, which is an educated primary source to provide some input for my first environmental piece that I've been working on for the past 4 months, which is about the rapidly deteriorating situation at California's Salton Sea, an allegedly toxic man-made body of water that is currently drying up as a result of a few factors.
When I came here in 2008, this was all underwater.
Thankfully, the gentleman I was interviewing was actually a progressive congressional candidate with a ton of information about the situation at hand.
So I'm running for Congress in District 23, where Yucca Valley, Victorville, Redlands, Big Bear are.
What can you tell us about the ecological situation happening right now with the Salton Sea?
My background is actually an environmental scientist. I worked at NOAA before I started the distillery, and the Salton Sea has been one of my favorite places to go for solitude and relaxation, going to the slabs, going to the hot springs.
The left-wing experience isn't better, though. You are a man, you are bad, you are the oppressor. I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. Fully agree with you. That's what I'm calling out the left for. The left is destroying itself with lunacy. In its core, right? And not even a Muppet like Kent Noodle, who I actually reference a lot here, can disagree with this. In its core, the left has amazing points. Unions, minimum wage, social welfare, healthcare, blah, 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 blah. But if you open the internet, the left are fucking ooga booga. You're a white male, and I fully agree with this. This is insanity. And people that like Antifa, I live in an Antifa neighborhood. They fucking run around and always destroy expensive cars, man. You know, they like push in their glasses. Is this your fucking rebellion? Is this how we beat the big bad capitalism? By you being a fucking idiot? And that's my big criticism to lefties. You cannot be these maniacs. You can't be these fucking maniacs, bro. You make the left unvotable to the normal middle ground people. And yeah, I agree with you, man. This is insanity. And they're literally, I'm going as far as this, lefties that are like this, like, oh, the big white male, blah, 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 that kind of shit, you literally destroy your own movement from the inside. You're literally destroying what you stand for. You make the left unvotable and ridiculous. Thank you, World Reaper.
Near there, it's just a beautiful, serene environment. Right now, the sea isn't draining and it's evaporating and causing serious environmental hazards from...
Remember when I started my career on Twitch? Maybe some viewers remember. Antifa Halle wrote an article on me. It's a legendary story, man. Insanity, man. I'll never forget this. I will never. You guys remember that story? I think no one remembers. When I was new on Twitch, I don't know how big I was yet. I got an email. I got an anonymous email from the German FBI, Verfassungsschutz, BND. They're like the German FBI. It was an anonymous email. It was very creepy, man. They had no email address. And they're like, hey, Tommy, I'm an anonymous source that works at the FBI Germany. I will not tell you who I am, but I found something, talk shit about you. Love your streams, bro. What? So he gave me this website called indiemedia.org, which is a website where left-wing people in Germany share ideas and talk and stuff like that. And it was an article in bad grammar from a student in my city that was blatantly lying about me, blatantly lying that I want to attack black politicians and stuff, just fucking lying. And like, oh, if we ever see Tommy on the street, you should attack him. And I'm like, what are we doing here? I'm on your side, buddy. What are you doing? And I remember I was calling him out. Let's meet. Let's have an interview. Uncut, live on Twitch. You can destroy me. Nothing ever came, bro. Just this one example. TommyKay the Nazi. Like PewDiePie is a Nazi. Have you heard the fucking thing last week? The big thing that PewDiePie is a Nazi and shouldn't play Roblox? We don't want Nazi PewDiePie in the Roblox community. It's insanity. Insanity. These people are so far gone and they're destroying and pushing us away from the real issues that should be talked about, right? And they're just part of the problem. Insanity. Pure insanity.
agricultural runoff that gets into the soil, then the dust blows around as the water dissipates. So we need to find some kind of strategy to mitigate those environmental impacts.
They can save it if they want to. All of those toxins at the bottom of the lake floor, like while the water is on top of it, it's fine. And if they bring the water back, and a problem. But as the lake dries up, it's released into the air, and it's going to be such a huge disaster. It's not just going to affect us here in Bombay Beach. As the Salton Sea dries up, it's going to affect LA.
I'm always creeped out when like bodies of water are disappearing. That keeps the living shit out of me.
It's going to affect
That's
like
so
Palm
scary.
Springs.
When I was a kid, when I was in school, and we had to learn the geography of the world, there was a lake south in Russia called the Aral Lake, Lake Aral, right? When I was a kid, there was a lake. It's gone now. It's just gone. When I was a kid, they taught that shit.
All them old
There's
people,
a lake
they're going to
there.
be dead. Nobody's going to be able to.
That's so creepy.
Lithium mining, if it's done
it dried out because the farmers took all the water away or some shit.
responsibly, could potentially be that strategy. I'm not sure that the way it's going to be gone about right now is going to be in the way that's going to best protect the populations that do actually live there. A lot of people don't realize that folks live around the Salton Sea still.
Yeah, we're doing a documentary right now about
the Soviet Union did so much damage to the world. Yesterday, I was with the family of Lisa. And Lisa has an uncle, he's 80 years old, and he was for 40 years, he worked in a chemical power plant. And I talked to him for hours. And he talked about how the communists were the biggest fucking criminals ever. They will take toxic waste and just put it in the river. No one cared, it was normal. They're the biggest criminals. And still today, in 2025, you can literally go to this river called the Pleiße. In Germany, it's called the Pleiße, if you're interested, if you think I talk shit. And you can do tests in the ground. You can even put your pedal in and put it out, and it's full of this weird chemical black goo, man. Fucking criminal scum.
at the Bombay Beach community, and they have the highest rate of asthma.
But it's not only the bad communist economy that did environmental damage, my friends, right? Let's be real here. Like the West, everything was clean, right? Come on.
Of anywhere else in California because of the silt that's coming from the basin of the Salton Sea and drifting into the air.
Here's a preview of our new documentary,
not
Save the Salton Sea, which is available right now exclusively on our Patreon at www.patreon.com/channel5.
Yeah, I'm Kevin here at Bombay Beach. Till 2017.
What the fuck is this?
I was a software developer. Like what's happening to a lot of people in the tech community now, layoffs left and right. I got laid off. And by that time, though, I was like, photography is more my passion. I got tired of the whole corporate bullshit and all that, where one minute they want you and the next, minute they're laying off a bunch of people that are like, fuck you, and then they're begging for, I wasn't meant to work in a windowless cubicle all day. And yeah, this is my home. I am Cornholio. I need TV for my file.
My name is James Raymond DeCourcy. I've been here since 1988. I did 9 years, 8 months, and 23 days in Folsom State Prison. I had my 18th birthday in Folsom State Prison. I was still on parole when I moved out here to Bombay Beach. There was a guy I met in there that had 16 life sentences. And he ended up in Folsom when he was 14, which was back in the 30s. Yeah. And when I went, he asked me if they were still riding horses and driving buggies, and I went, what? He goes, what are they doing now? I said, oh, they're driving cars. He looked at me and goes, what's a car? Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Is the GTA 6
I don't know. It all depends on if they can save the sea.
My name is Sonia Herbert, and off and on, I've been here since 1974. They don't care about saving the sea, and it's a beautiful area. And the people that have the power to do anything have never been here. They've never walked along.
But tomorrow, I'm bringing back real TommyKay. I'm not gonna work out. I ain't doing shit tomorrow. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., I fucking stream, bro.
Beach and
I want to
seen
play
the beauty.
Skyrim all morning.
My name is Tala.
Fuck all this family shit. I'm chilling with the family. Fuck that.
I worked for the Department of Defense for 19 years. I was a financial analyst. And then COVID happened. Then they wanted us to get vaccinated, and that was a big problem for me.
The only way the Salton Sea is going to get refilled is to build, a canal connecting it to the ocean. The trouble is that's not the only thing. They're also going to have to desalinate the water. And the trouble is...
That's impossible, though. I'm really into desalination. This is a big thing I care about, and desalination is almost
Desalination uses a lot of energy. There's a reason why
at the moment
LA and San Diego aren't doing desalination on a large scale.
Yeah, desal is incredible if we had renewable energy to make it work. Unfortunately, with the current fossil fuel powered grid, desalinization is an extremely CO2 intensive process. What I would love to see is a renewable grid where we could use desalinization as opposed to depleting our fossil water in reservoirs that are not going to be replenished. But we have to take care of the renewable energy piece first. It was never really designed to be an ecologically stable situation, but if I had $1 trillion, I suppose we could build a canal or something.
Dude, that's straight up a desert. You literally live in the desert, bro.
So that it could have drainage like it needs and have inflows coming into it. Of course, you need to crack down on all the pollution coming from the agricultural industries. But what I would love is to find a solution where we can keep the sea intact because it's incredibly beautiful, it's enjoyable for water sports, and it's, like I said, a very, very important wildlife habitat, especially for migratory birds.
But it's going to be hard.
It'd be incredibly difficult to keep it how it was in the 60s or the 70s. To get it back to that and keep it that way would take an incredible infrastructure project.
Do you think that the mainstream media and TV outlets that project news and information should be nationalized?
I think that there's a delicate balance between wanting to prevent government propaganda and wanting to prevent oligarchic propaganda. And so I think what I'd love to see is more listener-supported media, independent brands that are supported through democratic processes, not necessarily owned by the federal government. I mean, can you imagine what the Trump administration news network would look like right now? It's equally wrong when you have multi-billionaires that are owning, 80% of the media space and they're able to push out whatever agenda serves their profit interests.
I do believe that there are control issues out there, I think, on both sides. I still think ultimately we, the American people, have to come together and work this thing out. And I think blaming this or blaming that is, I don't know how helpful that's going to be. But I think we need to come together and look for solutions.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine.
She slipped through my fingers like sand. Heard that she got a man. Now I'm just sitting here sad. Oh well, ship sail. She slipped through my fingers like sand.